It's how we flow, yeah. Feet ain't even touching ground. It's how we flow, yeah.
Hello. How's everybody? Very nice. Welcome to the. What do we call this? It's. First of all, I should thank CBS 8 for allowing us to invade the space. This is actually their space. They call it Studio A. And we get to use it from time to time here at KFM-BFM. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Thanks for listening to KFM-BFM. I'm Garrett Michaels. I'm the afternoon DJ here at KFM-BFM. I also am the program director, and I'm very excited that you could join us this afternoon for Origins, presented and supported by the San Diego Honda dealers, where it's always sunny, and we really appreciate them being here for this and supporting this event. You may have heard about the first one we did back in May with Ace Frehley of KISS. And to sort of demonstrate the variety and diversity of KFM-BFM, we're going completely in a different direction today, and we're welcoming Switchfoot. So you're here for something very special today. So this time around with Switchfoot, the timing on this is pretty incredible. I mean, these guys are busy. They've just released their 10th studio album called Where the Light Shines Through. Came out last Friday. And they just celebrated with their fans at the 12th annual Switchfoot Bro-Am up at Moonlight Beach in Encinitas. There were a few there. Did you go? Yeah? All right. So from Switchfoot, please welcome John Foreman, Tim Foreman, and Drew Shirley. Come on out, guys. Welcome, guys. Good to see you, John.
What did he say about us?
Hardly anything. So I rearranged your gear a little bit here. I hope it didn't screw things up.
That's perfect. Enhancing. How are you guys feeling? You guys all right?
How you guys doing? Yep.
So Garrett told me this is like we're supposed to be just like hanging out, and I like that. We just don't mind the instruments. They'll just come into play later.
I didn't know how much gear you were going to bring. You know, we weren't sure, so, you know.
Right. When I'm on the couch at home, I always have just a keyboard right here, just in case.
I've heard that about you. By the way, the new album, here it is. If you don't have it, go get it. It is fantastic. And as always, it's one of my favorite bands, and really honored to have you guys here today. So,
We are stoked to be here.
I'm glad. You've been really, really crazy busy.
It's not every day we can just drive 20 minutes and play a show, you know. So.
Hang out. I went surfing right before this, so it felt good to get out of the water, come hang out with you.
And how was it? Was it good today?
It was warm, wet, beautiful.
All right.
I mean, snow.
The waves were, it was warm, it was wet, it was beautiful.
Can you say where you went?
Yeah, George's,
Yeah, right on.
just south of Moonlight Beach, where we have our event every year. Yeah.
Very cool. So, you know, speaking of that in your event, I mean, you just came off the 12th annual Bro-Am this last Saturday, the 9th, and I'm assuming probably bigger than last year. It seems like it gets bigger every year, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. This year felt sizably different, like a lot more people. And every year I'm thankful. We raised more money this year than ever, more than $200,000 for the kids.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And yeah.
Yeah.
The cool thing is I feel like we have so little to do with it. Like all we do is kind of set the stage, and the community just shines. Like, you know, that's our community. That's our town just doing what they do good. So
I hate to tell you, but it's not just your town. I think it's from all over. You know, it's amazing the people I know that came from out of town in the county. It's just turned into a huge thing, and what a wonderful
someone
thing.
from the Ukraine that came.
Wow.
And so, yeah, literally,
That's not one of those things you say, how many people from the Ukraine?
Yeah. It's like, how many people from Riverside? All right. How many people from... Yeah, so there's this kid who's got there's all these flags. I'm seeing flags, and, you know, we've got, like, obviously there's, like, Brazil and all these people, Australia, and then this guy holds up this flag I've never seen, and he's like, it's the Ukraine. Like, I'm not going to tell you otherwise. Sure it is, you know? Yeah.
They didn't cover that in at SDA.
No.
You didn't get that. You didn't have to memorize all the flags of the countries, right?
It's probably changed since then, right?
Probably has.
Yeah.
So the event went great. I mean, do you already think about next year? I mean, does it finish and you're already thinking, okay, we're already on to the next one?
Kinda. I mean, you have like maybe a week or two to kind of catch your breath. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of a full-time thing that we're already thinking about next year and, you know, ways to make it better. But it's as good as I could ever imagine it being, so we're very thankful.
We had amazing weather. A lot of people turned out and raised a lot of money. What is the? I mean, you've raised over $1 million now for the charities that you support, right?
Yeah, close to $1.5 million
Wow.
now.
Huge number, huge.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'm going to take it to the beginning now. I'm assuming everybody in the room here are fans. In fact, we'll have some fan questions that you guys submitted here in a few towards the end. But
Wow, magic.
That's the couch.
You got another mic?
We could go hardwired if we needed to. I'm just saying if we needed to.
He's leaping in. This is Jay, by the way.
Round of applause for Jay, y'all. Yeah, let's hear it for my bass playing brother and my baseball playing brother, y'all. Yeah.
Yep.
Played at the.
Well, that actually goes pretty well with where I was going to go with the next question. But for not everybody knows how this all started. But I mean, take us back to the beginning. I mean, is it true this started out basically with, John and Tim together, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Take us back to the very beginning, like how this all started for you.
Well, he was 2, and I was just born.
Yeah. So, true story. I don't know what you've heard. I'm going to tell it to you straight right here. We were living in Virginia Beach at the time. It was junior high, and my buddy was in a Led Zeppelin cover band, and he's still one of my dearest friends. And he's like, yeah, you want to play Led Zeppelin covers? And I was like, yes, absolutely I do. And the bass player had just moved out of town. And he's like, oh, does your brother want to play with us? And he's like, yeah, I kind of like the bass. Yeah, sure, I'll play bass. So we would play, we did all the Led Zeppelin covers, and Tim would be sitting.
I would sit on my bass amp, and it would be, my feet would dangle off the amp, just like they do now. Only the amp was closer to the floor.
Yeah, and that's the way we started, and you began to, get a little older, and your voice drops, and then you can't hit the high notes like you used to, and so then you start writing your own songs because you can't hit the high notes anymore, and we've been playing various iterations of this ever since then, back in junior high. And the first Switchfoot album came out when Tim was still in high school. So, we had made music even before then. We'd made records.
I thought you were going to say still in diapers.
Still in diapers. He's since graduated from diapers. But yeah. No, so, for me, I feel privileged to be able to share so many stories. And, we fight, we're brothers, but we've got, I feel like we've got an understanding, and we both care passionately about the music. And when there's a fight, I feel like we're reaching for the other side rather than reaching for fists.
That's good. So let's talk about that first record. You guys got the gear.
Okay.
So can I challenge you to play something off the first record?
Yes.
Perhaps. Can you do Chem 6A?
All right. I will do. All right. All right.
Is that like a reference? Chem 6A sounds like a class you took in high school.
Yeah, so it was a class I took in the freshman year of college. Any UCSD grads out there? Neither am I. But I did go to UCSD, and it was written about a chemistry class there. And if we're going to play it, does anyone have a guitar pick? Oh man.
You don't have a guitar pick?
Oh.
Oh, Tim's got one.
There it is.
Hey, that's the one I use.
Oh, that's perfect. No, this is great. Thank you. And it's even got the little star cut out.
Nice. Here we go.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for the pick. So what is your name? Donovan. Thank you for this. And what is your name? Tom was more excited about this song than you were, Garrett. So I'm going to play it for you, but I'm also going to play it for Tom. Okay, so I think it goes like this. It's a little while. And this is before Drew joined the band, so he's going to follow along. Nothing but a chemical in my head. There's nothing but laziness. 'Cause I don't wanna read the book. I'll watch the movie, and it's not me. Just like everybody else my age. 'Cause I think I'd rather play around, and I think I'd rather watch TV. Is that the same lyrics? I don't wanna face my fears. Is that it? I'll watch the movie, 'cause it's not me. I'm just like everybody else. I'm just like everybody else. See, 'cause I don't wanna be here. I don't wanna see this now. It's all wrong, but it's alright. And I don't wanna be here. I don't wanna study now. It's all wrong, but it's all alright. And you see why I didn't graduate now.
That was like the slow, cruisy version.
That's cruisy,
That
man.
was-
I'm feeling
that was
cruisy.
Lowrider version.
Cruising.
That was awesome. That was rad.
Thank you, Garrett.
Sorry to challenge you that way, but you pulled it off.
I love it.
And Drew being the new guy in the band,
Yes.
pulled that off beautifully.
I'm the permanent new guy.
What I love is, I was a fan of the band, but when you joined, what was it, 05, I think the band improved dramatically.
Yes.
Just the guitar playing alone.
Did.
Thank you.
Yes. The tone.
Take
So even when we were making The Beautiful Letdown, I would call Drew and be like,
Yeah.
hey, Drew, I need some help. Because Drew is
Yeah.
like the tone guru. He was known in our circle of friends. He would be the guy who'd like we'd all be like, there's this amp. I've heard it sounds really good. It costs a lot of money. There's this pedal. Heard it sounds good, but I don't want to spend any money. I got this amp in my garage. That sounds pretty good. And Drew would be like, no. Get the amp. Do it. It's good for you.
It's
He's
good.
Like,
It's good.
Like the
It's
tone
good.
doctor. He's like, take your
Yeah.
vitamins.
Take your vitamins.
Yeah.
Do what's right. Call me in the morning.
Yeah. So that's what I do. Even when we make a record, I'd be like, come on, Drew.
Yeah.
Give me some magic.
You should be trying to recruit a sixth member so that you're no longer the new guy.
Yeah.
How long have you been with us? 10, 12?
Yeah. 12 years?
12 years.
See?
Yeah.
New guy.
The new guy. The new guy. Tell me about writing. I mean, so as I look at the song credits for you guys, it does seem like a majority of the songs are John and Tim compositions. Is it truly a collaborative process between the two of you, or does it start out with one of you and you say, hey, I got this? I mean, tell us how it goes.
So over the years, I've grown to rely on my brother. I think in years past, especially when we first started, I'd be like, no, I want to finish the song. And I think we were in different headspaces then too, and but lately it feels like I really appreciate that outside opinion. I've done enough solo projects and side projects to where I really appreciate what he has to offer, and so he's like the first line of defense. I'll play him an idea and be like, what do you think about this? And he'll be like the best compliment he'll give me is the best backhanded compliment is, man, that's a really great song. You should put that on one of your solo projects. He's like, thank you? Question mark? Yeah, no, but so that's the way it's been, and so I'll especially on this project, I just kind of hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And he would say, that's good, or no, that's not so good, and so I think I think you got to have that person who's outside of the song that can speak into it that you trust.
It's important to have the trust factor, I think, in anything. So
Yeah.
nice to have your brother on the
Yeah.
standby to help out with that, right?
Yeah.
So this is hard to believe now. Tell me if I'm right. Was it your fourth album? Beautiful Letdown was a fourth album, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so your first major label deal was
Yeah.
that record.
Yeah.
And could you have even imagined it was going to blow up the way it did?
No.
So that had kind of an interesting beginning. That was a momentous year for me. It was the year that we'd signed our first major label deal. I had moved into a house out of the apartment that I was living in, married my high school sweetheart, dropped out of college. What could possibly go wrong, right? And so we flew to New York City to play for the head of Sony, who had never seen us live before. We were like the new band they had just signed.
Never really heard of us, I don't think.
Yeah, and we played the gig. It was for a bunch of suit and ties, you know. And we came off stage and we felt like it went really well. And our manager looked like he'd seen a ghost. And he basically told us that the head of the label heard 2 songs, said, "Why do you keep signing this expletive?" and walked out and said he didn't hear any hits. And so there we were the night before. We were like on top of the world. They had wined and dined us. Our first time to New York City. Everything was amazing. And then suddenly everything was like the carpet got pulled out from under us. And later that day we got dropped. Flew back home. And we were just kind of like, what just happened? And so we named it The Beautiful Letdown. And put it out on an indie. And after it sold 1 million copies, they waved our flag and said, "Hey, we like these guys again."
And the same guy is like smiling with us, talking about how like we believe in developing artists and like, see, look at this, and you're just kind of smiling next.
And the song he walked out on was a song called Dare to Move.
Really? Wow. I'd forgotten how that worked out, to be honest. That's right, because it did come out. It didn't come out right away in Sony proper. They picked it up
Yeah.
later. Yeah. All right, so since we're talking about that record, you want to do one from that?
Sure.
Your choice, Dare to Move, Meant to Live, you pick.
So it's funny how songs like you remember different things. I had an idea to put like a low string bend for a long time. I was like, and I always thought, man, wouldn't that be cool to put that into a song? And I wrote Meant to Live on an acoustic guitar, and I thought. It was like one of those things where I was sitting in this apartment that I was renting, and it was in this really crappy apartment in a great part of town, right? Like, I want to get near the beach, and this is all I could afford. And so there were tons of termites and rats that I was sharing the building with. And but I remember that. I was like, I gotta fit that in somewhere. So this is how it fit in.
Fumbling his confidence and wondering why the world is passing by. Hoping that he's bent for more than arguments and failed attempts to fly high, fly high. We were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? Somewhere we live inside. Somewhere we live inside. We were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? Somewhere we live inside. Dreaming about Providence and whether my cement got a second try. Maybe we've been living with the eyes half open. Maybe we're bent and broken. We're broken. We were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? Somewhere we live inside. Somewhere we live inside. We were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? Somewhere we live inside. There's that bend. And then this bridge. We had the whole song and we were trying to find a bridge for it. Which is the bridge is the part that comes usually after the second chorus. And I remember Tim and I, this was one of the first songs we wrote together. And we were in the back of the 15-passenger van, and we were like, what if it was something like this? We want more than this world's got to offer. Yeah, we want more than this world's got to offer. Yeah, we want more than the wars of our fathers. And everything inside screams for second life. Yeah, we were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? We were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? We were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? We were meant to live. We were meant to live. Thank you.
The bendy string trick.
The bendy string. I've never heard people like bend the low strings very often, and I just love the way dissonance sounds. Like that's this. You bend up to that note. It sounds good to me. Yeah.
We call them elephant bends.
Elephant bends. Yeah. These guys where you're like. Yeah, I like those a lot.
Elephants don't even sound like that.
No.
I don't know why we call them
They do if you get enough distortion.
that. There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's why you need the tone guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm always like Drew's always like, why you gotta bend so many notes, man? Why?
So let's jump ahead. An album myself, and a lot of people I know that I'm very fond of, and I think it's I don't want to call it a transitional album, but it seems like a transformative record. Is Hello Hurricane, your 7th album, and I always wanted to know, and I should have asked you this a long time ago. Is that the record? That's the first one that you did your own studio, right? I mean, that's like the secret name Spot X.
Yeah.
That's what sort of led to that, right? I mean, the fact that you had your own space to work in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you find that having your own place, was that really what helped transform, I think, your process a little bit? You'd have the chance to sort of experiment and create on your own time.
Yeah, I mean, picture this. Picture being, a chef that you get the stove for like a couple hours a day, and then you pay for it, and then you gotta leave, time to go. So like, to be able to actually just hang out in there, and in the middle of the night you got an idea, it's there, it's available. Like it'd be like saying to a painter, okay, here's your canvas, here's your brushes, you got a day, go. It feels like an obvious thing, but for us as a band, it was this revolutionary idea that we could actually continue to work on music, not just demos, but actually really explore our craft. Because, on stage, we feel like we had a pretty good understanding of how to do things, but, compression and EQ and all these different things, it felt like, for us, Hello Hurricane was this
kind of embracing all of that and kind of uncovering how do we want to do things from here on out. And so this new record we just came out with is our 4th album that was created here in San Diego. So that's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
So it's the same. I mean, you still call it Spot X, or have you given it a fancy name at this point?
Have we named it?
I mean, we call it all sorts of things, but yeah, probably still Spot X.
It's just a home. It's our clubhouse, you know?
That's perfect. You
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah.
And it's in a fairly like nondescript place, right? It's not some obvious place.
Right.
No. Yeah, it's
Probably somewhere in North County that's not too far away from home.
yeah.
It's a place
Exactly.
that's kind of biggish, smallish, brownish, grayish.
You'd have no idea that rock and roll is being created inside that, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Except for the neighbors.
Oh, the neighbors know?
There might be 1 or 2 neighbors that know. Yeah. Kind, patient neighbors.
Oh, they are. So they're happy about it. They're okay with it?
So far.
Well, I mean, if you've done 4 albums, they have to be okay with it, right? So Hello Hurricane, 2009, I think that was the first record that came out on Atlantic. So you were, leaving the Sony time at that time, and I just like from beginning to end, it really felt to me like an album that was meant to be listened to as a whole. And one of the coolest things I remember you guys doing around the launch of that record was the 2 shows out in El Cajon at the El Cajon Center of the Performing Arts, I believe,
Yes.
where the album was played in its entirety. And you had the birds coming down from the ceiling of the album cover. Just an incredible record from start to finish. So some tracks that really have always stood out for me, Needle in a Haystack Life that kicks off the album is incredible. It creates goosebumps, I think, for the fans. And of course, Mess of Me, the sound, Hello Hurricane. I was hoping that you guys would pick something off that record to do.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about those shows, the start to finish? The first one was before the album came out, which sounded like a good idea. And afterwards, we were really wondering if it was, because it was like watching a play. It was the least interaction we've ever had at a show because no one knows the songs.
Literally no one knows any of the lyrics, and they're like, that's a good song.
And then because it's so kind of dead quiet, I mean, it's like respectful quiet, I guess. But then that's what we told ourselves. And then after each song, it would still be like pretty quiet, like golf clap. And
It's
then,
like playing in Japan. Only you're in El Cajon, and you're like, just watching all these people like, yeah, I like that one too.
I mean, it really felt like people were interacting with a school play where they were kind of whispering.
yeah.
Feels appropriate for the El Cajon Center of the Performing Arts.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
they did put plays on there. So
And as the tour kind of went on, it kind of got better and better as people knew some of the songs. But
I
bold
love
move.
that. I thought that was so cool that you guys agreed to do that. And I was at both of those shows, and yeah, if you didn't know the songs, but it was such an album that needed it. Really felt like it deserved to be heard from start to finish. And rarely do bands, classic rock bands, go on tour like we're going to do the 20th anniversary or 30th anniversary tour of this album. Very different concept for you guys, a brand new album.
We're going to play a record you don't know.
Yeah, I think that one
Yeah.
and the new one are kind of kindred spirits in many ways. And if I was to pick another album that we would want to play start to finish, it would be the new one.
I think we should at some point.
Yep.
Yeah. Right now. Here we go.
Here we go.
So we're on Hello Hurricane.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any preferences on that one? Do you want to do? We've done a version of Hello Hurricane that we just do like around one mic, but normally I just jump into the crowd and do it like that. But
It's usually really dramatic when you go from big rock to
we're like
stripped down.
We're already in.
we're
in
gonna
the
strip it
middle.
down for you guys here.
Not as dramatic.
Do you want to? That's my keyboard. Don't mind that.
I've been watching the skies. They've been turning blood red. There's not a doubt in my mind anymore. There's a storm up ahead. Yeah, I'm singing Hello Hurricane. You're not enough. Hello and windows boarded up. Yeah, you're dead and fury is not enough. You can't silence my love. Oh, my love. Everything is had account is lost. Everything I had is stripped away. But before I started building, I counted up these cars. I got nothing left for no one to take away. Yeah, I'm singing hello hurricane, you're not enough. Hello hurricane, you can't silence my love. I've got doors and windows boarded up. Yeah, you're dead and fury is not enough. You can't silence my love. Oh, my love. 'Cause I'm a fighter fighting for control. I'm a fighter fighting for my soul. Everything inside of me surrenders. You can't silence my love. Oh, my love. Yeah, hello hurricane, you're not enough. Oh, hello hurricane, you can't silence my love. I've got doors and windows boarded up. Yeah, no, you're dead and fury is not enough. You can't silence my love. Yeah, sing hello hurricane, yeah.
Thank you. Hello, broken strings, y'all. That's
You're
what
the
you know.
destroyer of the G string.
Well, I've been called worse.
All right.
But it's true. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Wow. That was awesome. Thank you.
So that actually is appropriate for that song because that season of life, even though the studio was like this incredible new liberty, it felt like chaos. It felt like, I mean, basically when you cut ties with everything, you have to find new foundational elements, you know. So we had cut ties with our record company, we'd cut ties with management, cut ties with everything, and built the studio, and that was like this incredibly trying year. And so that's kind of what the album was. Hello Hurricane, you're not enough. We're still gonna keep singing, and that's kind of what built the studio, and you know, broken strings and all.
It happens, man. Was such a terrific record and an awesome song. And so the next record that came after that, Vice Versus, was that, now I'd heard that you were in such a productive, prolific period of writing that many of those songs kind of came from the same period, or at least you were writing about the same time. I mean, I'd heard that there was such spillover from Hello Hurricane that some of that stuff made it to the next record.
Yeah, it felt like Hello Hurricane, similar to the new record, we kind of wandered for a while to kind of figure out what the next season would look like for us. And one of those journeys was figuring that out musically, you know, where we wanted to go as a band. And so we wrote, you know, literally hundreds of songs. And Vice Versa felt like directly following that, we had kind of found a new direction. We knew where we wanted to head, and there was a lot more certainty that I think had been captured on the journey of Hello Hurricane. And so yeah, some of those records were, in fact, the song Vice Versa was written, John wrote that during the Hurricane sessions. And some of those songs, as we were finishing Hurricane, we already knew where we wanted to go with this next batch that had kind of been written in the end stages of that record.
I mean, and some of the songs on Vice Versa, I think, are some of your most, you know, dare I say, hard-rocking songs. I mean, Dark Horses rocks pretty hard. Afterlife rocks pretty hard. It's interesting because it feels like the two albums go so well together, but they're two sides of you. You know, I feel like there are aspects of Hello Hurricane that are more introspective, perhaps, but there's just like a muscular element to Vice Versus. You know,
It's also two different producers. Mike Elizondo worked with us for Hello Hurricane, and he worked a little bit on Vice Versus, but Neil Avron worked with us on Vice Versus, and definitely pushed us into that territory. Yeah. And it felt like I don't know. It's probably the same for everyone. Like, there's different sides of you, your personality that some friends will bring out. Like, you're not a crazy, zany person, but you hang out with this one guy, and you start jumping off the roof, and you're jumping off the roof into the pool, you know, and you're like, this guy, I gotta watch myself around this guy, you know what I mean? It's the same way with producers and studios and different things, you know, they bring out different sides of you, and so rock and roll, sometimes more introspective.
Yeah, well, I think you've always sort of demonstrated you have that kind of range, that breadth, you know. Let's talk about Fading West a bit. I think that's such an interesting album and total project. You know, I think it seemed like it was, you know, you guys were on kind of a path where it seemed like about every 2 years you put out a record, and then there was about a 3-year gap. And I had no idea what you guys were up to. And then suddenly you pop up out of nowhere, it seemed to me, with a movie, a documentary, and an album. And I'd love to have you guys tell how that all came to be.
Well, Drew, since you spent the last little while changing a string, I need a round of applause for my incredible guitar tech. Happens to be in the band. So tell us, what was your perspective on Fading West?
Fading West was obviously a movie, a documentary that we filmed, and an album to go with it. And I'm the least of the surfers in the band, but I get to hang out in some really cool places. So we filmed that movie around the world. Fading West was all the way from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Indonesia, and just traveling around and filming that, looking for inspiration for the album. So we were writing a lot in these different countries, and then collecting instruments, collecting sounds. John was writing a lot of songs, and then we would come back from that trip around the world, obviously surfing a lot, and that's a big part of the band. You know, obviously the name Switchfoot is a surfing term, and so the inspiration coming from surfing just seemed like a really cool thing to try, and like a cool inspiration for a record. So Fading West was sort of the culmination of a trip around the world that we had no idea what was going to happen. And if you've seen the movie, you've seen how it unfolded, but we didn't know when we started off on that what was going to happen. So we came home and recorded those songs, and that was the album, Fading West.
It's a great record, and you know, the documentary is wonderful to watch. It's moving. Combination travelogue, a documentary about your love of surfing and having the opportunity to do what you do, your love of music, and some pretty funny moments. I forget where it was, but you were booked on a festival, and you were playing with a metal band or before a metal band, and you're like, all right, we've got this, we're doing this, you know. I mean, just great stuff. It was fun to see you guys sort of behind the scenes a little bit, you know.
So that was a festival called Soundwave, great festival in Australia. And they had that year tried a kind of a sister festival 6 months before that was all metal, like really heavy stuff. And it got rained out. There's some reason why they had to cancel it. And so they just made it the biggest Soundwave ever, and they pushed all of those bands onto this other one, which is normally more of like a modern rock festival. So we just found ourselves completely out of place. There's like fake blood on the stage. Actually, real pig blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of. So we were on that stage with all the like really heavy metal bands, and I've never really been around fake blood that much. Or pig's blood, for that matter. But apparently, like, after the set, you gotta wash it off somewhere. So the restroom nearest our stage, like, every time you go to use it, it looked like someone was just, like, slaughtered in there. Because, like, remember that? Like, the whole bathroom was just red.
Yeah.
And you'd walk in and you'd be like, oh no, it's fine. It's fine. This is normal. This is totally normal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having Halloween every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there was one band that was all, they'd cover their bodies in black paint. And we get up there and I'm like, I don't even have a tattoo. You know, like, I'm just going to sing us a couple songs for all y'all. Hope you have a good time.
You go to Drew like, all right, what kind of tone can we use to compete?
Yeah,
what are we going to do?
Drew,
Sound
what do we do? Triple rectifier? What are we doing here?
Whatever. Turn everything up. Turn everything up.
Hit harder.
Yeah.
But those are the moments that if you ask anyone who's been in a band for any period of time, you just have tons of those stories. I mean, there's always those moments where you feel completely out of place, where you're kind of trying to like make conversation with people. And it's like junior high, first day of junior high, every day where you're kind of like, what are you guys talking about over there? What's so funny? You know, there's just all these rock stars and bands, and you just kind of feel like, wow, what are we doing here?
I tried to meet Slash. He was walking by, and I was like, hey, Slash. And he just kept walking. I was like, I think I just met Slash. That was awesome. Tim's like, no, you didn't. You didn't meet Slash.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Well, let's jump ahead to the new album. Just released on Friday.
Yeah.
Your 10th album.
Yeah.
10th album.
It's called Where the Light Shines Through, and I'm hoping we can coerce you into playing a couple of songs off that. The new single, Float, is a pretty remarkable song. It sounds like Switchfoot, but it also sounds, once again, like a bit of a band evolution, like you were in the studio trying some things, pushing yourselves.
Yeah. So, it's funny because we've had a couple dancier tunes that have never made records before. One actually that Drew wrote.
Yeah.
We've tried to put on like 3 or 4 albums. Drew likes the dance music.
I do like it. I'm not going to dance right now. Don't get worried.
Show him a couple moves.
No, it's
Drew.
okay. I don't have my cardboard, where I can do my stuff, but this one, John wrote, and I was so excited about. Obviously, just the sound of it, but the message and the heart of it, too, was one of those really special moments. Basically, I don't want to, you can talk about it if you want, but a friend of his was going through some really remarkably tough times in Iraq, and he was over there serving, and this is a song to encourage him. After an email that John got, it was just to encourage him and help him to lift his spirits, and lift his mood after a super difficult day. And so hope that it does that for everyone, listening to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the trick of this is our keyboard player and drummer are not here. So I'll be playing the role of Jerome, Chad, and myself. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. So.
Wow, I bet they feel very nervous right now.
Yep.
That they could be replaced at any moment.
Well, no, but John actually does have a clapper pedal down here. He says, with his foot to be able to do a clap sound. He's now strapping on a
tambourine set
to his foot.
Yeah. Okay. So this is no longer the couch anymore. This is my Mary Poppins contraption. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do this. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Turn it up so I can feel it. Loud enough so I can get near it. Baby said she's got the feeling. Mama, I can only see that it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Alright. Turn it up so I can feel it. Loud enough so I can get near it. Baby's in the slow motion. No mocking on the ocean. It's how we float. Yeah. Feel it even touching ground. It's how we float.
need someone to lean on. Don't you need that taste of freedom? It don't take no education. All you need is an invitation. It's alright. It's alright. Alright. It's how we flow. Yeah. Feet ain't even touching ground. It's how we flow. Yeah. We're flying at the speed of sound. Say I'm in orbit like a jet pilot. There ain't no gravity to try to fight it. It's how we flow. Yeah. We ain't never coming down. Away from the crowds where you realize the herd's insecure or the free mind. So don't let them tell you what to feel like. You can't bring me down, can't bring me down, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's how we flow, yeah. It's how we flow, yeah. Feel it even touching how we flow, yeah. We're flying at the speed of sound. Say I'm in orbit like a jet pilot. There ain't no gravity to try to fight it. It's how we flow, yeah. We ain't never coming down. Thank you. Andrew Shirley, ladies and gentlemen. And my little brother, Tim, killing it. Let's hear it for the foot tambourine.
I think I have a new idea for a touring concept for you guys. You could just go out like this. You know? Play some smaller gigs.
This is our busking setup.
The busking setup.
Yeah, I'm much more comfortable with the guitar. These are like, what does that do? What does that do? Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Is that the first time you guys have played that way publicly? Have you done this setup before like
First
this?
time in San Diego.
Right on?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you guys get the secret first time look.
That's right.
Very cool.
Try this at home.
There's a first and last time for everything.
And if nobody claps, you got your own built-in applause,
You're all
right?
set, man. Reinforcements.
That's it.
So tell me more about the new record. Tim mentioned it felt like maybe it was a companion in some ways to Hello Hurricane, the way you created it.
Yeah.
But it's a very diverse record, very broad. And I think Hello Hurricane sort of had that element as well. But tell us more about it.
So I feel like, we touched on this a little bit with Vice versus following Hello Hurricane. It felt like we knew where we wanted to go. Fading West was kind of like, is a little bit of a choose your own adventure, but it is dictated by the spots and kind of certainly a journey that was scripted by the locations that we went to. Whereas this record, we had no title, we didn't have a label. There's no anything. We're just 5 dudes up in Carlsbad making music, which is a beautiful thing, but it's also kind of one of those things where you're like, okay, you're going to be playing these songs for the next 2 years. What do you want to say? And you're like, well, I got this one song about a tree, and this other one is, I got to keep writing. You know what I mean? So, and we went for a different thing. On this record, we said, okay, for Hello Hurricane, we ended up completing, I think it was 60 or 80 songs that are great drum sounds, the bridge is great, you finish the outro, you finish the whole thing, you spend 3 or 4 days on it, and you're like, okay, that didn't make the record either. So we said, let's learn from that. We just write verse, chorus, and if you don't like it after the first chorus, probably don't need to work on it anymore, So we just wrote a ton of songs like that, and
Which was super fun.
it was very freeing. And how many songwriters out there? No one? Little songs. You're a songwriter? No?
A little
He's
bit.
pointing at you?
A little bit.
Secret skills. You don't even know you're a songwriter. I think, honestly, I think songwriting is better if you're approaching it like a kid. Because most of the songs that I hear that I'm inspired by, it's not how many notes they fit in. It's not like that they used a 4-syllable, 5-syllable word. It's not their intelligence that's wowing me. It's the fact that they connected with something that I'm feeling, you know? And so it's almost like that, turn the musician in you off that's been working at this craft for 20 years. Turn the, you know, whatever it is that tried to graduate high school and college off. Like, just think about what you're trying to express and almost approach it like a kid, you know? And I feel like those are the songs that really get me. They're simple, they're easy. Anyone can play them, and that's where we were trying to go for, was connecting with the heart rather than the head. And that's, you know, so for this album, it's called Where the Light Shines Through, and the concept is the idea that the wounded places are often the places that I've seen healing, and that's irony is that I want to run away from the wound a lot of times, but the light actually shines through these places that feel dark, that feel terrifying, and feel uncomfortable. And so that's kind of the concept for the record.
Let's talk about a few of the songs. You have a knack, by the way, as a band, to really, when you do your albums, sequencing is an important thing. And you're really good at picking lead-off tracks. I've always noticed this about Switchfoot albums. And, you know, this one's no different than others. Holy Water leads off the album. Really an incredibly powerful, anthemic type of song. Talk about that one.
So, Holy Water and Healer of Souls are two songs that we were purposefully thinking, what are songs we want to start the set with? Because we're a live band. Like, the studio is fun and everything, but most of what happens is live. So we're like, let's get some songs that we're like, this is the great first song. And so that's where that one was one of those songs where after verse and chorus, we said, we got to chase this one down because it feels like it could start a set.
John started the seed of that song on a flight to Okinawa. Yeah, he got off the plane. He had played that keyboard part into his laptop, and played it for me. I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" And the song really kind of came together quickly from that. And in fact, there's a demo vocal that he sang into was it your phone or the laptop?
Yeah, I think it was my phone.
That's kind of like ghosting his lead vocal in there. That is just from the demo. So we kind of brought it in when we built up the song around it, and we just loved kind of the loose, weird thing that it added, having that. It might have been sung on an airplane even. It has a weird sound to it.
Yeah, I think that we were playing songs for the troops overseas, and so a couple spots in Japan, Okinawa, Guam, and Hawaii, and so somewhere along that trip, that's where that song was born.
It's nice that you said, what is this, in a positive tone rather than put that on the solo record. Yeah.
I love his solo projects, though, so he loves to say that's a backhanded compliment. I'm a big fan.
You guys, since that's a set opener, are you prepared to do that one? Can you play that?
Maybe not acoustic.
All right.
I'm going to be honest with you, no.
Okay. That's what's great about this. This is freewheeling.
We've only played it in the studio, so I don't think we're ready for that.
So you're going to have to go to a full-blown show to see them do that. Make sure you're there.
So a lot of times, people don't know this, but we'll make the record and then we have to learn the songs, which sounds funny, but you play it in the studio and then you're quickly on to the next song. You have no idea what you played. You feel like you're a Switchfoot cover band. Like, how did you play that? Did I play this? I'm not even sure what that was.
Who writes this stuff?
Who writes this stuff? Yeah.
The process is different in the studio. This is the proof. Let's talk about another song that really hits me is If the House Burns Down Tonight. Talk about that one, if you would. Tell us a little bit.
If the house burns down tonight. So that one, a lot of times we talk about San Diego halfway around the world or around the country. But here, I'm sure half the people here have been evacuated because of a forest fire. And so that was inspired by the fire that almost hit our studio. And Drew drives up with his Chevy Nova and grabs like all the hard drives and like guitars that we love that he can fit in his Chevy Nova.
Yeah, exactly.
And like drives off to his house. And then
my house was almost on fire.
Then he's fighting the fire with his garden hose.
Right.
So, yeah, from a frying pan into the fire right there,
Yeah,
literally.
exactly. And why the hard drives? Because we have a lot of music recorded in the studio on the hard drives that we have never backed up anywhere.
Hundreds and hundreds of songs.
So we had to get that,
We
out.
have since backed them up.
Yeah. They're in his Chevy Nova right now outside.
But that was, for me, the first time I had ever been evacuated. And I think it's just it is an interesting feeling. I know a lot of you have gone through that, where you're kind of grabbing what's important to you and putting it in the back of your car. And you realize that when you really strip it down to that essential, what do I really need to take with me? It's not much. I mean, there's a lot of things that you think you need. When it really comes down to it, it's like my family, What else do you need?
Clean pair of socks.
Maybe. That's like optional.
Questionable. Probably encouraged. Yeah.
Maybe a guitar.
Maybe guitar. Yeah, but literally that feeling, that was what inspired it. And the chorus is, we could play that one maybe. Wanna try it? We've never done an acoustic. Wanna try it?
Want to give it a try?
Okay.
All right.
So this is the very first time we've ever done this.
All right.
Drew has never even heard this way, because I've never heard it this way either.
Hey, Drew, do you wanna cover the bass and I'll do shaker like that? All right, sure. That's probably a good way to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Switching it up.
Ashes from the flames. The truth is what remains. The truth is what you save from the fire, and you fight for what you love. Don't matter if it hurts. You find out what it's worth, and you let the rest burn. The sunset burns like gasoline. Touch me, make sure that I'm not dreaming. I see her face and my heart skips beats, but I still get the feeling that we're half asleep. Yeah, there's a spark in the corner of my baby's eye, like a distant star that won't burn quiet. Yeah, and I might not know what I want from this life, but I know I want more than the starting line. So give me the fire, yeah, give me the fire. I can hear the motor running down the interstate, and all the distractions fade away. And if the house burns down tonight, I got everything here with you by my side. I see the smoke piling up in the rearview mirror, yeah, but I ain't ever seen it any clearer. If the house burns down tonight, I got everything here when I got you by my side. You can let the rest burn, let the rest burn, let the rest burn. I had given too much of my heart away, my soul was holding on like a house divided. Like a match, it burns down like a masquerade, and I had to let it go when the fire ignited. One heart, few hands, your life is all you own. Your life is all you own. To hold, pull tight and let the bitter go. Yeah, let it go. And give me the fire. The smoke starts choking the Pacific sun. We rock it down the road like we shot at a gun. And if the house burns down tonight, I got everything here with you by my side, holding you in the wheel. It occurs to me we're driving down the edge of eternity. And if the house burns down tonight, I got everything here when I got you by my side. let the rest burn. Let the rest burn.
Big rock breakdown.
Put your hand in mine and put your heart in jiving. We got everything we need, yeah. We got everything we need, yeah. Left it all behind us. What we need will find us. We got everything we need, yeah. We got everything we need, yeah. Can you hear that motor running? Can you hear that motor run? There ain't no stopping us now. There ain't no slowing us down. Can you hear that motor running? Can you hear that motor run? Run, run. And all those lies that matter most to me were draining me dry, making a ghost of me. And if the house burns down tonight, I got everything I need, everything I need. Yeah, there's this fire coming that we all go through. You possess your possessions and they possess you. And if the house burns down tonight, I got everything I need when I got you by my side. You can let the rest burn. Ashes from the flames. The truth is what remains. Yeah. So that was the first time. That's not, y'all are pretty good. Y'all are pretty good.
Good.
That's
Live like that.
First time acoustic.
first time ever. Yeah.
Wow.
What are you gonna play during this part? Is like what I was thinking the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
First time as a three-piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get to the section of the program. So this is really loose, you know.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys like this? Isn't this great? This is really fun, right? We're just sitting on your couch, hanging out, your proverbial couch.
you know, we talked about having a couch, but it's hard to play guitar when you're on the couch. So
You just like
kind of lay back. We're gonna experiment with that next time. So I have some questions that were submitted by some of the folks here in the room, and I'm gonna just grab some random ones and throw them at you guys.
Come on.
Go with it, all right? So first question is, if you had to pick one of your songs for the whole world to hear, which one would it be, and why would you want them to hear it?
Who asked that question? You did. What's your name? Dave. What's happening, Dave? I think it depends on the day. Because literally, like this past week, I think I'd want people in my country to hear a song called "Looking for America," and you know, there's other times where I feel like there's a certain sentiment that I want people to hear this song or that. You know, I do feel like this whole record feels really poignant. I feel like for where we're at as a country, you know, years ago we kind of came to the conclusion that we want to be the band that sings songs of hope. We sing songs of hope because we believe hope deserves an anthem, and that's what we want to do. We're that voice, you know. And so different songs for different days, but that would be one of them. Dare You to Move would be one of them. Meant to Live, Where the Light Shines Through, The Sound. They all have different purpose, but it'd depend on what I'm watching on the news, I guess. Good question.
Tell me about, you know, I made a note of that because that was a song that really struck me in the new record, Looking for America. And I thought it's strange that, you know, the record came out on Friday, and I just heard it, and I'm going, wow, it just strikes a tone right now. How long ago did you write that?
8 months ago. But the irony is that almost didn't make the record. But it feels like it was written for, you know, Friday for the release for this week. You know, I think we're at a pivotal time right now, and I feel like that song is kind of longing for more than what I'm watching on TV. You know.
Yeah, it's a powerful song. All right, next question. Which is the hardest part of songwriting, the lyrics or the music and the melodies?
Depends on the song. Whose question is that?
Come on, fess up.
Did you not? Oh. Now, some of these may not be from people who are all in the
Okay.
room. Grab some.
Drew, is that your question?
No.
Okay. Again, it depends, you know, like some songs they come out intact. Like 3 minutes later, you're like, well, there's the song. It's easy, you know exactly what it's about, the melody, everything fits. And other times it's just like a wrestling match. For Float, we had most of it, and we had a lot of it, and then we didn't have a chorus. So Tim and I went in.
We wrote like 20 choruses.
We wrote like a bunch of choruses, trying to figure out, okay, what does it want to say? And we'd be like, that's great. And we'd come back and be like, nah, that's not quite it.
That's one of the most discouraging things about songwriting is that you'll work all day on something, and because you're around it, you're kind of influenced by its power all day, in its grip, you know, and then you leave the studio thinking, wow, wasn't that amazing, that song we just wrote? And then it's like it has this vanishing quality where you wake up the next morning and you come in the studio and you're like, oh no.
The worst feeling. You come in and you're like, this is not very good.
Yeah. I mean, 80% of songs you write kind of vanish overnight. They lose their magic, and so the good ones stick around. And we finally found a chorus that stuck around on that one.
Yeah, so it depends. Every song is different, but I think the key is wonder. If you look at anything through the eyes of wonder, as an apprentice, not as an expert, then suddenly your mind is available to easy solutions and simple things that are probably the best way through, you know. And it's never the complicated, strange thing. It's just the thing that's right in front of your nose.
Sometimes obvious. You mentioned that you're a live band, so it's appropriate to go to the next question. What is your favorite part of a concert? Is it the initial frenzy, connecting with your fans during the show, seeing happy faces at the end, or something else?
I enjoy watching John get himself into situations and then, like a cat in a tree, get himself out of them. Every night is, we'll spend hours making a set list, like laboring over, okay, the perfect order of songs and for the evening, and look at the last time we were in that city. I mean, we really spend way too long on these set lists, and then we get up on stage and within the first 3 or 4 songs, it's like, who needs set lists?
Gone.
And you never know where he's gonna go, and it used to drive me a little crazy. I know it drives our crew crazy, you know, lighting guys and audio guys trying to keep up with where we're headed. But now I just love it, and I laugh a lot, and I think that's why we love live music, is that every time we play a song, it should be different, and every time we show up in a city, it should be different and different from the night before, and I think it makes it fun for us and for the crowd.
And the reason why I change things is because I'm like, I could care less about this up here. Like I want this right here. I want to feel like this connection is made. And almost like the same thing about the song changing day after day, because the state of the country, the state of the world, it's the same thing for a set list. Like you can feel it halfway through. You're like, oh, these guys want to rock and roll. Let's keep that going. Or sometimes, no, they're feeling introspective. Or sometimes you're like, I don't know what they want. We played them some mellow stuff, we played them some rock, and they're just still kind of looking at us. And you know, so like, but every night, for me, I'm just kind of, I want that connection. I want to go somewhere.
And it does feel like, and this is like a bit of maybe a soapbox of ours, but it does feel like increasingly we're one of the few bands that isn't using tracks. Like we're militant about it. We will never use tracks. And I think part of it is because
I'll put a tambourine on my foot.
That's right.
Before we do that.
Yeah.
We'll do some embarrassing things. Don't get me wrong, but we will not.
And so I think we just embrace the spontaneity that we still can do, and very few bands can because they're locked to a Pro Tools rig on the side of the stage.
You guys are known to overcome adversity. You demonstrated right here, man. You can deal with it.
Right.
Why is it so important for you to give back to programs that help at-risk youth?
Oh, I feel like if you're singing songs of hope, you have to do something more than just sing about it. So we were coming back from Australia on one of our first successful overseas tours, and we were like, okay, things are starting to happen. We got to give back to the people that gave so much to us. We were just thinking, man, so many people in San Diego supported us and giving us a guitar when we needed it, giving us gas money when we needed it. How do we instill that and give that to the next generation? You know, so that's why we do what we do.
So the follow-up on that is, I thought it was really cool when I heard about the Bro-Am studio. I just think that's awesome. And how did that come about? Was that just something as you guys were seeing what you were able to create and raise through Bro-Am and awareness and money raised, where you thought, you know, this would be something kind of cool to do and give back? Or
Yeah, it's always evolving, right?
Yeah, and so that was a dream of, you know, so much of what we do in giving back to kids in San Diego is practical needs, right? Food, a place to sleep. But I think music has the power of changing lives in a very, it's not an obvious way. It's not a direct correlation of food eaten and now I'm not hungry. But it gives a kid a way out. And it opens their minds to bigger possibilities. So that little vision of having a studio is now expanded to bringing music back into the public schools, starting in Chula Vista, where, you know, it's needed quite a bit. And so with partnering with VH1, we now have music in 4 of the schools there. And
where it hasn't been in decades.
Systematically
So
going from
yeah,
school to
bringing
school,
it back to the schools.
all right, I'm going to move on to some more lighthearted questions. Did somebody in the room, did they submit the question about the honey-do list? Yes. So the question is, how often do you get to work on your honey-do list at home?
I just got that feeling in my stomach of like, oh, that's right.
It is funny because, like, you know, we love music and we play music for a living, but we also are husbands to different women. And so it becomes, you know, taking out the trash and changing diapers and, you know, all the rest of it. And so the irony is that when we're on tour, everyone thinks we work really hard, but we know the truth. Like, moms work way harder than we do, you know, especially, it becomes like hero status, all the moms. I'm not really impressed with rock stars. I'm very impressed with moms. So when we're home, we try and, you know, help out and be good husbands.
Is your wife listening right now?
Emily,
I hope
you
so.
hear this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Favorite surf spot? It says favorite surf spot in North County, not anywhere else, North County.
All right.
Well, you know the moment you ask that you're not going to get a truthful answer, because we all have our favorite secret spots, but
Probably Beacons.
yeah. As far as like known spots, like on the map, I mean, I love Cardiff, Seaside, Swamis. Those are kind of, you know, the main
Yeah.
spots in our area.
Yeah,
It's home base.
home base.
That's right.
I mean, we had Surf PE at Cardiff for years, and yeah, all those spots are really fun.
Surf PE.
Yes.
SDA? Is that an
SDA.
SDA thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have Surf PE out there? Okay, I'm really striking out. There's one.
Right over
Yes,
there, yeah.
there it is.
Somehow I worked it out to where I had independent surf PE and surf PE and free period all kind of going at the same time. I mean, when you're in high school, you're basically a pro surfer at that point. That was like the high point of my surfing career.
Brilliant. Favorite place to eat in San Diego?
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, for me, it's always what's close, you know.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of special memories at Swami's Cafe up there, the first one right on the beach.
Yeah.
Just walk over, check the waves, have an omelet. Exciting stuff.
I mean, I'm a sucker for Mexican food, so
Yeah.
like any
Which
greasy
is
burrito.
which is going to be the next question. We're going to get to
Okay.
the Mexican food question because you have to ask it here. You guys are locals. I have heard from friends of mine who had an encounter with you earlier this year that you were recommending Bull Taco. That you should go to Bull Taco if you're in North County, right? So they have
It depends on which one.
right. Well, there's the one, you know, right at the corner of Encinitas and the 101, and then you got the one at the beach. So
Yeah.
which Bull Taco do you prefer?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna, again, my angle here is always checking the waves. Yeah. So definitely the one in the campgrounds. And it's not necessarily the best food,
Right.
but the best ambiance.
But where else can you pay for like a $5 taco
Yeah.
on the beach overlooking the water? You
Get
can't.
crapped on by a seagull.
Yeah.
That's right.
Blow your mind.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other favorite spots there, Tim? You know, North County around your Mexican
the best
places.
tasting one is Cotijas in Lucadia. It doesn't always make you feel the best afterwards. I think it has the most lard, but it definitely tastes the best. you know
It's
what
a
I'm
complex answer.
It's a great answer.
You've thought it through.
So
you
like,
felt it.
Do you want to enjoy it in the moment or afterwards?
How will you feel tomorrow?
Right.
How long do you want the enjoyment to last?
All right, one last question from the crowd. What do you think you'd be doing as a career if a music path had not worked out for you?
Well, my mom was a music teacher here in San Diego. She taught choir and piano and stuff like that in high schools and junior highs. And I always thought I would teach. So I actually had my teaching credential right before I joined the band. I was going to substitute teach and start teaching. And I have a younger brother who's got Down syndrome, and so I always have a connection to special ed. So I actually would probably jump in somewhere in that realm as well if I wasn't doing music.
Drew would make a great teacher.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. I'd make a horrible teacher, but I'd probably be trying to teach. I like kids. I think there's certain age groups that terrify me, rightly so. But maybe I'd just be washing windows for Drew. I'm not really sure. I'd be asking Drew for life tips.
I think you'd be a philosopher on top of a mountain, just totally writing and
That pays
teaching.
well, right? Yeah.
Like the scene at the end of the new Star Wars.
So I'm Luke.
Yeah.
Am I Luke?
Yeah, like
Dude, I'll
Luke.
totally
Yeah,
be
like
Luke. Thank
Like
you, man. Thank you.
Luke Skywalker.
Are you Han?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think so. Tim, are you Chewy?
Maybe.
This is great.
I think I would be building things.
Yeah.
Actually, I built that. I love working with wood and I just built my son an awesome bunk bed that's suspended from the ceiling. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's like the bunk bed I wished I had when I was a kid. You know?
Absolutely.
With no bed below it, just the one that you want to sleep. You always want to sleep in the top bunk, so you don't even need that bottom one.
Next step, treehouse.
That's right.
There it is.
Got to do the treehouse project. I'm gonna before we wrap it up. I just have to throw this out because you brought up the solo thing. I think it's cool that you've collaborated, John, with Sean Watkins with Fiction Family, and it's been a couple of years. I mean, you and Sean still thinking about continuing on after you did the the Fiction Family reunion.
Yeah. So actually, I was texting with Sean this morning about coffee. So that was coffee usually means further records. But yeah, so I love Sean. And so that friend of mine that was in the Led Zeppelin cover band with me back in those early years, he's now married to Sarah Watkins, and so they're like some of my favorite people on the planet. And I love the Watkins, and so it's like family. It literally is Fiction Family, So I'm sure we'll do something down the road. He's busy. We've got our thing going.
Good thing, yeah.
We'll figure it out down the
If
road.
you want to hear a weird circle of how, life's funny like this. So the guy that was in our Led Zeppelin cover band, back when my feet were dangling off the bass amp, he's now married to Sarah Watkins.
Did you guys introduce them?
We did, and but this was on the East Coast. You have to remember.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin cover band. We were
Right.
in Virginia Beach. Now
Yeah.
we are on the West Coast. He moves out here, and now he's married to a guy that a sister of a guy that John's in a band with.
Yeah.
It's all very incestuous.
And Sarah's pretty spectacular as a musician in her own right.
She's incredible.
She's amazing.
Been
Yeah.
hearing her a lot on Prairie Home Companion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's played on a lot of Switchfoot records too.
Yeah. Cool. Gosh, you guys have been so generous with your time. This has been really fun. can I talk you into trying one more song? Do you want to do one from the new record, or your
Yes.
choice? Do what you want to do.
I want to do another one that we've never done ever before. Right? Yeah. You wanna try it? Drew and I were talking about this earlier, and so this is the title track of the record. I'm trying to think how the bridge goes, but I think it's gonna work. Yeah. Okay. So, you ready, Tim?
Oh yeah.
Here we go. 2, 3, 4.
When you're feeling like an astronaut, stuck on the planet, even time forgotten. You're a version of yourself, but you're not the same. You're taught to keep the wound camouflaged, and the stitches heal, but the ears are lost. And another bottle on the shelf can numb the pain. Why you running from yourself now? You can't run away, 'cause your scars shining like a dark star. Yeah, your wounds are where the light shines through. So let's go there, to that place where we sing you these broken prayers, where the light shines through. The wound is where the light shines through. Ooh, yeah, where the light shines through. Ain't we all just Abraham's sons, Satan sinner with the song and drums, and falling on our knees, we all bleed the same. And the only tattoos that I have are scars. I got your name written on my heart, and the stories that brought us here, there ain't a thing I'd change. No, no, I wanna see that light shining brighter than the pain, 'cause your scars shine like a dark star. Yeah, your wounds are where the light shines through. So let's go there, to that place where we're singing these broken prayers, where the light shines through. The wound is where the light shines through. Mama, ain't the blood just proof I'm human? Mama, ain't the blood just retribution? Mama, ain't the scar like a vision of grace? The wound is where the light shines through. The wound is where the light finds you. The wound is where the light shines through. Yeah, look at your scars shine like dark stars. Yeah, the wound is where the light shines through. It's where the light shines through. Yeah, it's where the light shines through. Yeah, only touches I have.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. Huge round of applause, KFM-B, for putting this thing together, y'all. Come on. Wow.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all for coming out for KFM-BFM Origins. And once again, thank you for the support and for presenting at San Diego Honda Dealers, Always Sunny. We will be posting this session online once we get all the fun editing stuff done at KFM-BFM.com. And of course, please listen to 100.7 KFM-BFM because I got to go on the radio in a little bit. I would love it if you'd listen as you're going home. Once again, the guys are going to stick around for a little bit. We ask a couple of things. They'll say hello, do some pictures. If we could ask that you let us take the pictures, don't take personal pictures so that we can just get everybody through because we know we've got a whole group of you here, and that is it. Thank you again for doing this. Guys, thanks so much. Tim, John. Thanks so much, guys.